Hey there, 80s movie fans. Let's talk about Krull, that wild, genre-mashing fantasy flick that hit theaters way back on July 29, 1983. Directed by Peter Yates, this Columbia Pictures adventure is part sci-fi, part fantasy, and all-out adventure. The budget, a huge $47 million, but ouch, it only made about $16.5 million in the US at the box office. Sometimes cult classics just start slow, right? The plot, spoiler-free, promise. So Krull basically kicks off like a fairy tale, only with aliens. There's this evil beast who crashes on the planet Krull with his army of gross shape-shifting slayers. Their fortress? It literally teleports somewhere new every morning. Prince Colwyn, played by Ken Marshall, is about to marry Princess Lyssa, Lysette Anthony, to unite two feuding kingdoms. But at the wedding, yep, you guessed it, bad guys crash the party, slaughter a bunch of people, and kidnap the princess. Not a great start to married life. Colwyn rallies a random crew of heroes. Ynir, the classic wise old dude, Rel the Cyclops, who's super tall and super sad, Ergo the Magnificent, a bumbling magician who's mostly comic relief, and a crew of outlaws that includes a young Liam Neeson and Robbie Coltrane before they were famous. Colwyn goes on your classic epic quest, over mountains, through swamps, into spiderwebs, don't ask, all to rescue Lyssa and kick the beast's butt with a totally wild weapon called the Glaive. Seriously, the Glaive is a 5-bladed boomerang-style thing, and it's awesome. Making the movie director Peter Yates normally did action movies and didn't even like fantasy, but he went big for Krull. Most of the filming was at Pinewood Studios in England. There were like 23 massive sets. The production design is weird and gothic, like a sci-fi castle mixed with an alien spaceship. Visual effects were pretty wild for the era. Lots of matte paintings, miniatures, and some shots that look cooler than others. Hey, it was the 80s. Oh, and it was filmed in some top-of-the-line widescreen format, which was supposed to make it look ultra-epic, unless you got a crummy print. The music. The score is hands down one of the best things about Krull. It's the great James Horner, recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra. If you listen, you'll totally hear hints of his later work for movies like Aliens, Willow, and Braveheart. Drama, romance, adventure, it's all there in the music. How did people like it? When Krull came out, it got totally steamrolled by Return of the Jedi, War Games, and Superman 3. Most critics agreed it looked cool but was kind of a mess story-wise, with up and down pacing. Roger Ebert called it beautifully filmed but totally uninvolving. Box office-wise, yeah, it tanked. But then everyone who rented movies in the late 80s or watched random cable channels ended up seeing it. And suddenly, boom, cult classic. D&D players, fantasy nerds, nostalgic moviegoers. They all found something to love. Why people still care. So yeah, Krull bombed at the box office, but now it's one of those movies real fans love to champion. It's goofy, earnest, and full of practical effects. The Glaive became legendary in geek culture, popping up in everything from Ready Player One to South Park. The music still gets re-released, and the movie spawned an arcade game, a comic, and more. Sure, the story's bumpy, but it looks and sounds amazing. And there's something charming about how big it went, trying to create a whole new fantasy world. It's retro magic. Some fun facts, that Black Fortress, one of the biggest sets ever at Pinewood Studios. The Glaive prop was handmade and later sold for over $10K. The Cyclops suit weighed like 60 pounds, tons of work for the actor. Director Yates admitted he wasn't a fantasy fan and found this movie tough to direct, you can kind of tell. Tagline, a world light years beyond your imagination. Cheesy, but hey, it fits. Should you watch it? Krull is a glorious, sometimes clunky throwback to when studios took huge swings on wild new fantasy ideas. It's got heart, brave heroes, wicked monsters, and some of the most memorable music and sets of any 80s adventure. It's not Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, but if you want a weird and wonderful ride back to 80s cinema, it's definitely worth dusting off. Hit subscribe to Movies of the 80s for more deep dives into cult classics you might have missed.